Hello everyone, welcome back to my 4-star school YouTube channel. So in the last lesson, we've been finished part of the homepage in this novel app. So in today's lesson, we are continue working on the training book section, the button navigation bar, and a detail page for the normal. If you are new here, feel free to register to my channel page. In there you will find a Flutter UI from scratch tutorial and Flutter tutorial for beginners and a Dark tutorial for the beginners as well. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel, sum up my content, and open the notification so you won't miss out the latest Flutter tutorial. Okay, without further ado, let's get started. Let's back to our Visual Studio Code, and we're going to implement the training book section under this recommended for you section. So let's find our home folder. Under this widgets folder, we're going to create another file. Here I'm going to call it trading book.dar, and it's a stateless widget. That's the widget. I'm going to call it training book, and let's import library. Make the key nullable, and we're going to declare an attribute which is training book list. Okay, should be list, and we using the static method inside this book object. We will get a list of training book, right? And we're going to rewrite this constructor. Okay, also I don't think we need to, because here we're using the fake data, so we don't pass anything in this constructor. And for inside this build method, we're going to have a column widget, right? The column widget will include these category title, which we implement in our last video, because it almost the same like this recommended for you, so we can reuse the widget. And after that, we have a list view, which include a list of training book. So let's turn this container to a column widget. So we have a children attribute. For our first trial would be the category title, and the title would be training book, right? And we can save for that, and back to our home.dar, and we're going to implement the import library training book, right? So let's save, and you are able to see our category title shown here, right? Which is training book. And next we're going to implement each of those training book card. So we're going to use a list view here. In this case, list view separated, and we have item count. So the item count, just the training list.len. For this separate builder, we're going to I'm going to return a size box with height 10, and also for this view, we're going to set the padding, which I'm going to give it or set to 20. And the reason we're going to set something more, because this entire home page we are using the list view, So this is a nested list view, so we must set these primary to false, right? So they can scroll together, and also we need to set physics to never scroll physics, right? Okay, and also we're going to write this shrink wrap set to true. If you didn't set this one, you will cause error. Something you have unbounded high, right? And for this item builder, we're going to return. We can return a gesture detector because when you click one of them, you will navigate to the detail page. So same as those recommended book. Let's check our recommended book. So I think we didn't write for this recommended book, but we can do it later. So first, for this training book, we wrap it with our gesture detector. So okay, in this case, first I'm going to get this book from our training list, right? And then we're going to return our gesture detector. So inside this gesture detector, we have untabbed attribute, right? So we will leave empty for now. After we write our detail page, we will finish it later. So for it is child, I'm going to use size the box because I want define it is high. So I'll give it 120, and for it is child, I'm going to use a row widget. This is our first row, and this is our second row. So I consider using this row widget, right? And we have a children attribute. For left one, I'm going to use this clip rag because we have a rounded border, right? So we can change it is border radius, and using border radius dot circular, okay. So dot circular and set to a 10, and also for it is child, we can use image ss book image URL, right? So that's for this book. And after that, we have a little gate, so I'm going to use size box for give it weight to 20. And next we have expanded for our second row, expanded widget, right? And inside this second row, we can use a column widget. So column of child inside the column. So for it is a child, I'm going to let's see. We consider in this case we could using another row widget, right? And this is our first row, and this will be our second row. So back to our column widget. So first, for this crossy alignment, we're going to set to star, okay? Because you see we have a crossy alignment to star, and then inside it is children. We can use our row widget. So for the first row would be text expanded wrapped with expanded widget, right? And we can set this overflow to ellipse, and next is this icon. So let's implement it. And we have a sorry, it should be outside. We're going to define this main axis alignment to space between. And for its children, as I mentioned, we're using expanded widget and wrap our text widget. We have book.name, right? Oh. And we're going to style it. And we're using text style. I'll make it constant. Text style. I'm going to change the font size to 16 and font weight to bold. Okay. And also we're going to set its overflow. So I'm going to use text overflow dot eclipse, right? And so for our second row, it should be an icons dot bookmark. And for the color, I'm going to change it to orange 300. Okay, let's save. Okay, now it's pretty good. So for next one, outside this row widget, right? And we can have a text widget, include the book author. And we have a style, text style. I'm going to change the color to gray. Okay. See, yeah, pretty good. So we're going to keep a little bit space. So I'm using size the box. I'm going to keep high to 15. And then we have another text. Talk about book description, right? Also change the overflow to text overflow ellipse, and we have a style, text style. Going to change the color gray. Yes. Okay, seems good. And so the next one, give it some space using the sized box. Height set to 15. And next, I can consider using a row widget for those two. And inside these children, and I'm going to create a common method which called build icon text. So the left side will be an icon, and right side will be a text. So we build icon text. I'm going to write this method. Okay, you will return a widget, build icon text. I'm going to return a row widget. So we will receive the icon data and the color for icon, and last one will be the text, right? So inside this row widget, we have a children attribute. First children will be icon, So we pass our icon and also the color and size. Probably 14 is enough, and then a little bit space between. Set weight to 2, and so the last one will be our text. I'm going to style it using text style, but we're going to make it constant. So inside this text style, we're going to change the font size to 12 and also font weight to bold. You see we didn't change the font color because we want this theme button to control the color. So I think that's it. And scroll up to our build icon text, and here I'm going to plus icons start, and color would be colors orange and 300, and the text would be our book.score, and also book.review, right? Okay, that's for our first icon text, and I'm going to have some space. I could use size the box, width set to 10, and copy this one. I will change the icon to visibility, and the color just white color. So for the text, I think just book review, book view, and okay, that's it. So let's save. Okay, I think that's pretty good, right? So next I'm going to implement this button navigation bar, right? So before we implement button navigation bar, I'm going to test it is light mode. So let's click this theme button. Okay, I think in light mode it looks pretty good as well. Okay, so let's implement the button navigation bar. So let's back to our home.dar, and let's find an attribute inside this scaffold, which is called button navigation bar, and we write a method build button navigation, and we're going to implement this method, which will return a button navigation bar, right? So we're going to return a button navigation bar. It contains the required attribute, which is this item. Alright, but before we fill out these items, we're going to set the type. Since we have four navigation bar item in our bar, so we're going to change the type to fixed. Bar navigation bar type.fixed, and also for disable it is label, right? To false, and also for the color, selected item color, make a custom color, which is purple, dark purple, and for it is item, so there will be 4. So 4 button navigation bar, item, and we have a label. So the first one would be home, and the icon would be icons dot home rounded. Okay, and we can make a constant this entire navigation bar. So we just copy this and paste. So we have 4 button navigation bar item, and I'm going to change the label for the second one. It'll be a book. So the icon will be a manual book rounded. For the third one, will be colon the view week outlined. So for the last one, will be person. Change to person outlined. Okay, I think that's all for the button navigation bar, and we can save. And we're going to test light mode. If the button navigation bar change its color. So let's click the same button. Yeah, it works. You see this navigation bar also change to light mode, right? Okay, seems pretty good, huh? So next we're going to implement the detail page. So we already wrapped those training book with gesture detector, but we haven't wrapped those recommended book with gesture detector. So first we're going to wrap those recommended book with our gesture detector widget. So first let's back to a Visual Studio and open this recommended book.dar and find this build item builder, and we're going to wrap this stack widget with our gesture detector, right? And we have our own tabbed attribute. I'm going to implement that later, so we can first create our detail page. So let's back to Visual Studio Code. Under this detail folder, we're going to create a file detail.dar, and it should be a stateless widget. Call it detail page, right? And let's import a library, make the key nullable, and create one more attribute, which is book. Going to receive a book object and rewrite its constructor, right? And also change this container to scaffold, and we have a body attribute, right? So just make it center widget and placeholder indicate it's a detail page. Okay, so let's save, and then we can back to our recommended book right here. Inside this on tab, we're going to call navigator dot of context dot push, and for this row we're going to use material page row. We're going to go to the detail page, right? And we'll receive this book object, right? Okay, so let's save. This is for our recommended book, so we can test it. And when I click this first recommended book, it shows the detail page. That's correct, right? And let's implement for those training book as well. So we could just copy this line of code, and in the training book we can paste here. Okay, but we need to import a library. Okay, so let's save. And when I click the training book, one of them, it will navigate to the detail page as well. Okay, that's good. So let's close those two files. For this detail.dar, let's open our prototype. And here I'm going to use a list view, and with our background image, book title, book description, and some button. So for our detail page, I'm going to replace the center widget with list view. Inside the list view, I'm going to remove its padding to 0, and we have children. So for the first children, will be a sized box. Have height set to 550. For it is child, I'm consider using a stack widget because we have this one, this go back button. So I'm using the stack widget, and here I'm going to change the fit to stack fit.expand. By default it's loose, so I want this image to occupy the entire width of the screen, so I change it to expand. And for it is children, let's use this clip drag widget. Because you see we have a rounded corner, so let's using this border radius, and we have a border radius dot vertical, and we can set a button to radius dot circular 30, right? And another one would be child, so we're using image.asset. We have a book.image URL, right? And for the fit attribute, we use box fit width. So let's save, and you will be able to see this image, right? I could go back and select different book. Okay, it works, right? Yeah, it works. So let's continue implement those go back button. And since we're using this stack widget, so we can write under this sized box. Okay, I think we could inside this size box, but under this clip red, because our stack widget is here, right? We can under it is first child. We have C shant widget. For it is child, I'm going to use container with a go back button. Wrap it with a gesture detector. And we have on tab, which is back to previous page, right? Navigator dot of context dot pop, and we have trial. Okay. For the trial, we could use container, contain our icon. Back rounded. Okay, and the color. Change to white. And let's save. Yeah, it's hard to see this icon because we didn't position it. So let's change its top to 56 and left to 20. Also, for this container, we could add some padding. Or set to 10, and the decoration, I'm going to change its background color. We could use box decoration, and we could change the color. Grid 900, and also for the shape, let's check to change to box shape circle. So let's save. Are you able to see this go back button? And also let's test it. Okay, it works. Try other one. Yeah, seems it works. Okay, it's pretty good. So we could keep working on the rest of the part. So the next one, let's give it a little bit space. So this is size box. After this size box, we're going to give a little bit gap between the image and the book name. Okay. So let's use another column widget. And we have text. And here I consider using a constraint box, because you see the title actually go to the next line. So I could use constraint box. And so it is constraint. Max width set to 250. Trial, just our text widget with the book name, right? And let's style it. We have our text align set to center, and also have a style using text style. Change the font weight to bold. Also font size, change to 24, and height to 1.2. Okay, so let's save. Yeah, pretty similar, huh? So after this constraint box, let's give little bit gap so we could copy this one. And after that, we have another text. This book author, right? Okay, book author. So let's write our book author. Going to style it. Constant text style. We could change the color to gray. Okay. Yeah, it seems good. So the next one, it's a row widget. Because we're going to create a custom method, which is a icon. Left is icon and right is a text, right? So it's pretty similar like this. So I think we could use that one. So let's back to this training book. I could just copy this method and I'm going to paste here. So in reality, you're going to extract these comment widget so you can make it reusable, but seems it's just only a very small project, so I just copy it. So we could call this method, and we're going to pass our icon, which is icon.star icons. Also book score. Let's see. Yes, and we need to set this main axis alignment to center. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty close, so let's give it a little bit gap. 5 is enough. Okay, and for the other one, okay, let's give it another, let's see, change this to wet, and probably 10, and we build another icon text, which is visibility, and this should be just white, and this one book dot view. Right, so we could save. It's pretty similar, huh? So in reality, you're going to extract this method. Probably you will have a comment folder. You have your comment widget in there, which share among all of those different widgets. So you create this build icon text, and maybe you will call it like icon text widget. So you reuse in different places. Okay. So after that, we're going to write down these type. So for the type, I'm going to first get a little space using size box, and I can consider using a row widget, right? And I think let's change the main axis alignment to center. For it is children, we could access the book type, right? We could use the map function to list, right? So inside the map, we're going to return padding, because we're going to give a padding for those type. So let's give it constant edge inset dot horizontal. So just set to 10, and we have a child. Okay, probably 5 is enough. So in it is child, I consider using chip widget. So inside the chip, we have a background color, and I'm using theme of context dot color scheme dot secondary, and also for it is label, I'm going to just using the text inside our element. So let's save it. You'll notice here for it is background color, I'm using this color theme, which will make these chip change according to light mode or dark mode. So let's see, when I change to light mode and when I click it again, you see the background is actually a light gray, right? Because we're using the secondary color here. And change back to the dark mode, and you see the background a little bit dark, right? So after we finish the type, and next one will be those two button and also the description. And let's see, under this row, let's create a padding widget. We have padding, so constant edge inset symmetric, and horizontal set to 35, and have a child. Going to be a text widget, book.description. Okay, so let's save. Okay, last two will be those button. So I'm consider write a command method which is called build button. But first, let's create this padding widget, and we have constant edge inset.symmetric, and let's make it vertical, set to 20. And for this trial, I consider using a row widget. We have a main axis alignment set to center, and also we have a children would be build button, right? And we have a two build button. So let's create a method. So under this one, we're going to return a widget. So we'll receive this icon for the left, and the text and the background color. So probably the same as here. So I could just copy here. Okay, and we're going to return slice the box. So I'm going to give it a height and width for the button. So height will be 40 and the width probably 150. And for it is trial, I'm going to return elevated button. So inside the elevated button, I'm going to have a style. You could use elevated button style from, and we could set this elevation to 0, and primary color just our color, and also the shape. We have a rounded rectangle border. We could change this border radius, right? Border radius circular, probably 10 is enough. And also have on pressed. Sorry, should be outside this style with on pressed, right? And also we have a child. Child is another row widget, and we have main axis alignment set to set to center, and we have a children attribute. We have an icon on the left side and a text on the right side. So for the icon, we're going to pass our icon, and color just white color, and size probably 20 is enough. And we're going to have a little bit gap between those two, so we're using the size box, set width to 5 And also for the text widget, we're going to have text and style it. So we're using style, constant text style, right? I could change the color to white, and also font size to 12. So then we could use in here. So for our first button is plus, and icon is a plus. And for our second one is a book, right? So we could icons.add, and color would be great, 800. Also text would be add to library, and have a space sized box, change to 15, and for the second one, let's copy that, and we change this icon to menu book, and color. Okay, let's make a custom color. And text will be read now. Okay, so let's save it. Yeah, it's a lot. Okay. Yeah, now we have those two buttons. Okay, we could go back to our previous page and check the other one. It seems good. Alright. Yeah, it seems good. And we can turn on the light mode and we check again. Yeah, it seems good. Okay. Okay, I think that's all for today's video. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel, sum up my content, and don't forget to open a notification so you won't miss out my latest Flutter tutorial. Okay, thanks for watching. I will see you in next video.